Thanks to see you. And Anvita is with us as
Yes,
well. So thank you very much for
right.
being with us.
Absolutely. It
Um,
is a pleasure to be here.
so first, so basically to introduce you, all of you. So basically, MD Center decided to change the format of its webinars now. And now we try to invite an accepted student with the business school. It's a way for the student to explain why he has taken the business school, and we want to hear real stories, and also for the business school to introduce itself, and maybe to give you more inside information on the school itself. Okay, so
Fantastic.
so basically, um, so let's start. Basically, the idea of today's seminar was to introduce Anandita, who has been accepted to IESE. And since Ridhi, you run the admissions in India, explain your choice. Huh? Okay. Alors, basically, Ridhi, can you tell us more about IESE history? Because you yourself, you work for IESE and you have already completed the MBA at IESE. So please, can you tell us about the history of IESE so that
Of course.
our
Thank you
spectators,
for that.
our attendees know that, and also your experience at IESE and the reason why you have decided to work for IESE after the MBA. Great.
Of course. Fantastic. All amazing questions. And I'll try to be as concise as possible, in my answers. So I think it goes back to why I chose ISE Business School as, the institution where I wanted to pursue my MBA from. To give all of you all a little bit of a background, I worked in my family business, which was in real estate as well as luxury beauty. And I had a about 4 year long career in marketing before I decided to pursue my MBA. And one of the key reasons why I chose ESA was its general management approach and the case methodology. And I think I'd want to sort of emphasize the case method over here a little bit and why it's so important, because most of my academic sort of journey up until my MBA was done in India, which was a very lecture based method and module, where more often than not, we were tested on our ability to retain the concept, then, understand what that meant. And hence, for me, take choosing a program which had a case method, which allowed me to sort of look at a problem statement, break it down into effective solutions, analyze, and most importantly also engage in peer-to-peer learning, right? Because you're in a class with 70 other accomplished peers, all from different backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, professional backgrounds, academic backgrounds, and you all are sort of coming together, looking at a particular problem, looking at a particular case and point for discussion. And you would often have different viewpoints. You'd often think about, like, I would bring my perspectives or insights on the table of whether, say a retail giant like Zara should be looking at India or not as its next market, back then, or should they rather consider, a Singapore or a Dubai instead. And, I'd have somebody sitting across the table with extensive sort of operations and logistics background, and, would have a perspective that would be opposing to mine. And I think being or engaging in such enriching discussions really sort of helped me look at business from a very holistic perspective rather than just a very like niche vertical at large. Being at IESE is, of course, has been the absolute highlight of my academic life so far. And whether it's on the professional front or the personal front, I think it's given me immense amount of learning. I think I've become a more confident person. I've sort of definitely honed my communication skills, my ability to analyze, business decisions. And I think all of this comes back to why I decided or chose to join IESE, about 5 years after graduating from the program at large. As mentioned before, I grew my career in marketing, but I was always fascinated about the education sector. And I think being at IESE, discovering the impact, an MBA program like ours can have on an individual's, career path, sort of compelled me to make this pivot eventually. And about 3 years ago, I decided to pursue, my career in education. And the more I spent time in working with students wanting to pursue the international MBA, the more attached I became, to this industry. And I was always very, very close to the previous admissions director at IESE, and I think eventually we realized that India is a very, very growing market for us, and we now wanted sort of presence in the country. I'm not sure if you all are aware, but our entire admissions team is global. We have representatives sitting in Tokyo. We have someone in in Shanghai. I'm in India. I have counterpart in Singapore. Of course, we have a bulk of the team sitting out of Spain and other parts of Europe, but also North Asia and Latin America. So that's literally how global and how diverse our entire admissions team is. All of us being alumni of the program, and hence we really understand what it takes to sort of make it work at IESE, and why is it that you would be a good fit for the program, and most importantly that IESE is also a good fit for you, right? We always look for a mutual fit, because an MBA is a big investment. You are investing in upskilling and upgrading yourself, and you want to make sure that this is the absolute right next step for you. I hope what this answers some parts of the
Okay, so
questions that you asked.
it's a problem. But basically, what I wanted to say is that IESE is a school run by IESE graduates, a bit like
Yes.
Harvard, by the way. And of course, I'm always surprised. Sometimes I check, since I'm in contact with many admission officers through LinkedIn. Sometimes, of course, the head of the admission of the admissions are graduates themselves, but sometimes they are not. And I always wondered how you can sell a school if you don't know the school very well. Okay, so that's so basically
That's true.
what you somehow inverted commas selling.
Yes, absolutely.
Before we go there, so Andres, are you with us, Andres? So Andres de la Orden is a student. He was my student from Madrid. Andres, I don't know, is he replying? Andres?
I think.
Yes, I don't know. Because Andres is a current IESE student, okay? So maybe I would like to start with him, like for 10 minutes, and after that, I know that he's busy. He will go back to class because it's the end of the year. Andres?
Yes.
Hello?
Hi,
Andres?
hello.
Yeah,
I
hello.
lost your voice for the last minute. So
But anyway, Andres, I know that you're busy, and I really appreciate that you came today. So I will ask you just to come to be with us 5-10 minutes so that you share your experience. So basically, Andres, can you introduce yourself? Okay. First, go ahead, Andres.
okay, my name is Andrés de la Orden. I'm Spanish. Previously to the MBA, I had experience in startup and consulting. So I decided to do the MBA to reinforce my financial knowledge, which was limited in compared to an investment banker before the MBA. So that's why I decided to do an MBA. Why IESE? As I said, I'm Spanish and I was traveling and working abroad for the last 3 years. So it was a good way to come back to Spain and to start developing a professional network. So that's why I decided mainly to come to IESE. Then as well, I love the case method in comparison with classic lectures. And as well, I wanted to take a look into the entrepreneurial and venture capital world, which is in Europe. We have like 3 main cities: Berlin, Barcelona, and London. And Barcelona was quite appealing for me. So that was the main reason to came to IESE. So far, the experience here has been amazing. It's a great opportunity to meet a lot of different people, backgrounds, cultures, and to learn from many different like professional paths. And it's been an enriching opportunity. I would recommend you to, before deciding one MBA or the another, to talk with as many people as you can from the different schools that you like, so you can have a clearer understanding of the school and the life in that university.
Okay. So basically, What is it like to study at IESE? So yourself, I know you used to work for the BCG in Madrid, yeah?
Yeah.
Ben or BCG, I forgot Ben. And you used to work as a management consultant in Madrid. So you moved to Barcelona, which is also a great city. You have the sea and quality of life is incredible. So what has been like? The last time I spoke with you, probably Andres, was in May of last year, probably. So what has been like? What has been your life like since May 2021? What have you experienced living in Barcelona, studying, making friends, looking for an internship? So tell me.
So basically, when you land in the program, you try to survive to the classes, to the new environment. You need to make yourself efficient in terms of allocate the right times for studying, knowing new people, going out, doing a sport, social life, etc. So the first month and a half is quite a crazy period, but it's super enriching because you know a lot of people in a way super short time. After that, you start realizing that you need to start preparing for the exams, but you have the opportunity to start learning from the different career fairs to understand the different industries, potential careers after the MBA. And after those initial 2 months, then you start asking yourself which is the place you want to go for the summer internship. You are doing your research, and once you have a more or less clear idea, you start preparing the applications, the interviews, and so on. Then before Christmas, you have a rush with exams. You have at least a couple of trips. I was in the States and I was around Europe as well. Then Christmas break comes. I had COVID, so it was a chill one for me at home, recovering. And when you're back from Christmas, you know how everything works in the master, so you are just enjoying and focusing on the things that interest you the most. So that's it. First month is like a peak. You need to be ready to be awake and to move around because you are not used to anything. And after that, you start like making Barcelona your home and to feel super comfortable, and is the moment when you enjoy the most. Social, university, and professional.
Okay, and I remember, Andres, that when we met, you told me that you wanted to work in venture capital, private equity, buy side, basically. Have you changed your mind, or where are you going to do your summer internship?
So for the summer internship, I have like plan B and C right now, which is a venture builder and a small firm, but I'm still working on the main option that is like probably a fund, but the unstructured recruiting processes with no big companies and things takes time, and you need to be patient because many times from interview to interview you take some weeks. So it's still ongoing, but if everything goes right, I will do an internship in a small company that I've been networking with, and I changed my mind, yes and not. So it's the MBA is a fantastic opportunity for exploring and see different things. So I understand things that I didn't have like super clear on my mind, and I discover like in deep search funds, which I was not considering at the beginning, and now they seems like an attractive opportunity. So I didn't change that much, but definitely I've been exploring different things, and there are other opportunities there.
I'm sure. Anyway, you're a talented person, Andres, and I'm sure that there are many opportunities in the industry, in consulting, maybe in private equity or as an entrepreneur. I know. Do you intend to stay in Barcelona a bit, or you will go back to Madrid, or because I've noticed, you see, Ridhi, that there are a lot of students who love the city so much that they decide to stay. Is it something that you have in mind yourself, Andres?
Main idea is to go back to Madrid, but I'm open to different geographies. I'm not close. So I'm chasing the opportunity, not the location, we could say.
Okay. So thank you very much, Andres. So if you want to stay, you can stay. I know that you're busy, huh? So if you have to do something else, I will perfectly understand. I really appreciate that you took 10 minutes of your time. So if you want to stay, you can stay. But if you are busy with something else, it's you can go, Andres, as you want.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, it was nice to talk to you, Andres. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you. Alors, up to you, Anandita. Anandita, where is she? Anandita, so you have just been accepted. So you have applied to many schools in Europe, and you have decided to pick up ESADE. So Anandita, can you tell us more about yourself, so that we can picture who you are? Okay.
Sure, Dr. Upat. I am a financial modeler by profession. So I have been associated with Mazars for almost 4 years now, and now I am working as a project manager in the firm. So so this is very briefly about me in terms of my professional career, and apart from that, I'm an engineer by qualification. So yeah, so that's about me, and in the long term I also I intend to be in the finance sector, so I'm looking forward from IESE is honing further my financial management skills.
Okay. And why have you decided to apply to IESE and accept the offer, Anandita?
So I mean IESE, so as Ridhi already mentioned, like in I mean my most of my education was lecture based. So now IESE is one of the very few colleges which follow the case method. So case method is one of the primary reasons why I have kept IESE over other schools. And again, speaking with Ridhi and other alumni at IESE, I felt that IESE is a very friendly school. So I know I will be very far away from home for these 19 months, but I don't want to, I want to be to a second home. So that's why I think culture that IESE promotes, a friendly outlook that IESE has, again, that's again another reason for, choosing IESE and accepting the offer at IESE.
Okay, that's why you have chosen the school. Alors basically, Ridhi, you have been in contact with Anandita because you manage the admissions in this part of the world.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
why have you chosen Anandita?
Why have I chosen? Oh, there are several reasons. I think the number one being that I thought she was an absolute cultural fit, and I think that is absolute top priority for us because the kind of culture that ESA fosters of collaboration, one of teamwork, and where you're not afraid to seek help. And I think this is something that runs through to every individual who's ever sort of connected with the program at large. And the idea is that if we find candidates who are able to thrive in this environment, then I think it's a win-win situation. So I think that was definitely my top criteria of why I thought Anandita would make a great fit to our program. Apart from that, she had a very sort of focused career path that helped us get a better understanding of what she's done so far, what are her core skill sets, and she enabled us to understand that, okay, this is what her future interests are. She intends to develop and hone her financial, strategic, and then decision making skills. They complement to everything that she already brings to the table, right? And I thought that helped us get a clear perspective of how, as a candidate, she would fare even post the MBA. And I think to all the prospective candidates who are applying, it's always important and essential that you give us this sort of roadmap for yourself, that'll help us understand what are your strengths and how are you going to be able to leverage them to eventually meet your career aspirations post the MBA. Because I think that's the absolute crux of how we measure success of an individual, that they are able to eventually land their dream job, or whether it's an entrepreneurial venture, whether it's a corporate job, or whether it's returning to family business at large. So I think these were what I would say some of the top reasons why I chose Ananta as an admit for the MBA for 2024.
Basically, if I could give an assessment, because I know Anandita well, so I would say that basically in terms of intellectual and academic abilities, she's very strong. She has a degree in engineering and already have a master in business. Her
Yes.
GMAT was correct.
Yes.
But I think that she didn't work enough on a GMAT. She had the 700. So in terms of career, she has worked for Mazar. Okay, so she has very strong intellectual, I would say quantitative skills. Okay, so basically she would be probably perfect for a career after that in an MBB.
Yes.
Maybe internationalism, maybe a lack of internationalism, which is quite common in India, because at the same time, when you're Indian, where can you go? It's not like a French, where you take your car and after 2 hours you're already different countries. So Indian students have the same problem. They cannot go to Pakistan, it's a pity. They don't go to Bangladesh, maybe Nepal. So those who have traveled because they have family in the UK or they have been for tourism in Dubai. That's what I see. So it's very rare to have. Okay, so that's something that is a bit missing in India. But of course, at the same time, we're not talking of the same size. India is somehow geographically a bit like Eastern Europe. So then in terms of leadership, I don't remember well, but it seems to me that she was good. Now, of course, she seems to be a right fit. So she's also a woman, which is something important. Because as you know, companies are looking for women. Okay, so you need to give them a good woman, and basically yes, right fit and probably contribution to the school. I'm sure that she will be involved in the women club, consulting club, and maybe I don't know. Is there an Indian club at IESE? Ridhi, is there an Indian club?
Yes, of course, there is an India club at IESE, and one very active one at that. And apart from just social gatherings and networking opportunities, I think the India Club over the last couple of years has stepped up dramatically to support graduates who even want to come back to India from an employment perspective, whether it's giving them access to the existing network of IESE alumni, or extending support of mentorship and guidance of how they can look at career opportunities even in India, given that as a country we're absolutely the next place to be, with respect to all things entrepreneurship, and even within the corporate world at large. And I think to kind of address the international experience part of what I understand that, as Indians, a lot of candidates do not have international exposure much, unlike, some of their counterparts across the globe. But I think the important part for them is to sort of talk about if they've worked in global organizations or MNCs at large. The idea is for us to understand how well they work in a diverse scenario or a setting, right? So even if you're able to showcase, your abilities of interacting with, international teams, engaging or sort of, working and communicating well with them, it does help us at least get another layer of perspective on how well you would do at IESE, given that you would be absolutely thrown into, a very, very diverse culture right from day one, expected to work with a team, of whether it's your learning team, whether it's, your section mates who are all from very, very different backgrounds, and still, be able to participate well. So I think I would say it would be interesting for us to see some of these examples in your application form, even though you don't directly have an international experience.
Basically, I have someone who is currently applying, Nacho. So Nacho, you have a question for Ridhi? Because I think that you'll have the interview this week. I don't know when, by the way, tomorrow, I believe. So Nacho, can you briefly introduce yourself and tell me if you have questions for Ridhi, Nacho?
Yeah, hello.
Hello,
This is
Nacho.
Nacho. Hello,
Yeah.
how you doing? And thank you for being
Hello,
here. I appreciate your time. I was actually just a few moments ago talking to an ex-student of IESE. He's living in India. And it was a great talk to talk to him. And well, I mean, I asked him many questions. But to introduce myself, I am from Spain. I've been living in Spain for my entire life with some experiences abroad, including exchange experience during my university. Actually, I studied industrial engineering at the University of Navarra, and I was 6 months in Stockholm during the university. And then since 1.5 years ago, I am living in Dubai. For the last almost 9 years, I've been working for Amazon in Spain and in Europe, and now in Dubai, in business development roles, different product categories, projects. And now tomorrow I have the interview for IESE. I'm very excited.
Fantastic.
I'm really looking. Let's see how it goes. Of course, I have a lot of question marks on how it will go, and I'm very motivated, and I'm really looking forward to having the interview and being able to potentially, if you allow me to do so, to join IESE. I know some friends from IESE, and I know the University of Navarra, the values and everything, and it will be a great honor to be part of it. Yeah.
So what piece of advice, Ridhi, because you also run interviews, would you give to Nacho for tomorrow?
Yes.
So what would you say? What are the typical questions that are asked? How to answer the attitude? Tell me, what would you say?
Absolutely.
What piece of advice would you give?
Absolutely, yeah. But so I think the one piece of advice, Nacho, that I would give you for your interview tomorrow is that, we're like I mentioned, right? We're looking for a mutual fit, and I think through your interview, through your examples, professional, personal examples, if you are able to, demonstrate your ability to collaborate, your ability to work well as a team player, and of course the fact that you do aspire to become a leader that eventually wants to impact not only just the top line, bottom line of an organization, but the community at large. I think these qualities would go a long way in helping the interviewer find this mutual fit that they look for often. And I think the other thing that I would tell you is the IESE interviews are more interactions. We don't tend to make them a pressure test environment. So I would say put on a nice shirt, put on a smile, and enjoy the conversation and help your interviewer learn more about your passion for IESE, right? I think we all love to kind of dig deep and understand how much of IESE love a candidate has, right? And I think since you've interacted with so many of our current students or alumni, it would be amazing to use those snippets and insights in your interview to help the interviewer get a perspective of your passion for joining the program at large.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's something very important. So basically, Nacho, we have prepared yesterday, but connect your experience to IESE. It's very important so that they understand, but at the same time, you're motivated. Okay, and now already you understand that our students apply to many other schools, but like you did probably, and it's important to relate your experience and to that of an IESE. Me, myself, the first time I visited IESE was in 1996 because I created the World MBA Tour, and IESE was one of our clients, okay? So they were attending the World MBA Tour that we sold in 2020, we sold in 2000, year 2000 to QS, and it became the QS World MBA Tour. Because we could no longer manage that, it was financially impossible to run. So, and of course, I came back to visit Paula Amorim to make an interview last November, and I saw, of course, that the school has changed a lot because you have built the campus, it has grown a lot, but you kept the same spirit. And you see, Nacho, when I was there, so I saw there were like 2 classes, if I remember well, okay, or maybe more. It looks a bit like Harvard, even though the classrooms are a bit smaller. And you know, all that is designed to develop a business case. Okay, and the day before, I went to Madrid, so I attended a class. By the way, Sinacho, you can go to Madrid because in Madrid they have DMIM, and it's the same ID. And most of the teachers that you have in DMIM are also teachers in the MBA. So if you want to have a feeling of what it is, take your car and for 10 minutes, and you'll see the Madrid campus.
I actually went to the Madrid campus when I was at the university. We went there for a week or a couple of weeks, actually to IESE to try, more or less like learn the case study methodology.
Okay.
And I actually, it was many years ago, but I remember like it was a great experience, and I loved the way they were teaching it, and this general management approach that Ridhi has mentioned. Yeah.
Anyway, it was very good. So, Ridhi, you stay with us, or you have to go? Because I thought that you're going to be with us until how much time?
Yes, I unfortunately have to excuse myself,
Going
Dr.
to
Wood, but
Anandita.
I want to, thank you for giving me this opportunity to interact with this fantastic pool of candidates. And as always, it's always a good association that we have. And, please feel free to reach out to me for any questions, queries, or if you need me to connect with any of, the students that are here today, and I'd be very, very happy to do that. And thank you everyone for being here today and answering me some amazing questions.
So now I'm going to talk to Anandita, but it's true that what I wanted to say to you, Ridhi, is that I see that you're very available, and because Anandita, maybe she will tell us about our case, because she has a very specific case. Yes. And I can tell that you're always available to give feedback. So now students have to understand that, for instance, Nacho is in contact with someone called Natalia. Okay?
Yes.
Because she managed a student from Spain, from what I understand.
Correct.
You manage students from India, which is of course a lot of work because you have many Indian applicants, and they have regional directors. Okay, and each of them manage a specific region in Europe. Okay. So thank you very much, Ridhi. So we're going to continue with Anandita.
Yes.
Anandita, you want to put the video, the cam on? Can you put the camera on? Maybe Anandita, so that we see you.
Yes, Dr. Ugo, just give me a moment.
Because Anandita is a very pretty girl, so it's cool. Now, it's not for that I want the cam on, but basically it's preferable that you can interact. And now we're going to ask Anandita for more questions. Okay. Hello. Okay. Yes. Okay. So a pretty girl, pretty and intelligent. Alors, basically, what I want to say, Anandita. So Anandita. So now we are among ourselves. So to which programs have you applied outside IESE?
So I applied to HEC, INSEAD, IESE, and LBS.
Okay, and what has been the outcome of all that?
So I got waitlisted at INSEAD, and I got accepted from HEC and IESE. Okay,
and why IESE more than HEC? Because, for instance, HEC can be a shorter program, or they also have the double degree between HEC and Yale, which is not bad because, as you know, you can have the same program. So it means after Yale, you can work 2 years in the US. Why IESE among all that?
So the thing is, for me, what worked out is, first, as I already mentioned, so it's the case method that I previously my entire education has been all lecture based, but with IESE we'll get an opportunity to to understand the case methods as well for the 19 months. That's rigorous case study method that we'll have to go through. So that's one. Secondly, I think one more thing on top of that is like I have also been awarded a scholarship, so that MBA is both a financial.
And what is the amount? And what is the amount of the scholarship? What is the amount?
So I was awarded a 20,000 euro scholarship.
Yeah, which is enough. And how much is what is the price of IESE and Andita? What is the price?
93,500 euros.
How much? How much?
93,500 euros.
Okay, so you would pay 63,000. Okay, so basically, of course, well, let's say also the ranking, the location. Okay, Barcelona is better than Birmingham, probably. Probably Birmingham is a great place, but quality of life, yes, of course, and probably also care about women. The IESE is also very advanced on that. Tell me, have you been in Europe and Andita? Have you traveled in Europe before that, or it would be your first time?
No, this will be my first time.
Okay, because last time we spoke, you told me that you had a mission in UK. It didn't work, or what happened?
No, that's I mean, after, for this thing going on over there, there has been some
Because
issues.
of the war in Ukraine, so it's
Yes.
getting difficult.
Yes. So I could
So,
not
so
I could not actually travel back for that. So I mean, in terms of UK, I had my internship, not internship. I had my secondment there for a few weeks, but then I had to travel back. But then
okay,
I
so
was supposed to revisit Germany and sit with my client, but I could not do that because of these ongoing things going on.
yeah. So basically, but at the same time, Ukraine is not Germany, but yes, I can understand. So tell me,
Yeah.
which classes did you intend to follow? You know that at IESE, you have electives, you have study tracks. So which one will you pick up at IESE?
I know. I understand that the first few terms would be like general management approach, so you have to do everything. But for the electives, I will be looking forward like the negotiation. I heard the negotiation, course is very good. Then the finance management and electives related to the financial management like accounting, financial management, because I do not exactly remember the electives name, but related to that. And maybe some key soft skills like courses for soft skills like management skills, and then there are a few courses like positive impact on managers, some electives like this.
Basically, yeah.
And
Basically,
here,
around that, yeah. So it will
yes,
be around personal development, leadership, and finance. Basically,
yes,
that's the
exactly.
three things. So you expect at IESE to develop leadership skills, to develop personally, and to gain knowledge in finance. Okay. In terms of clubs, so have you identified clubs that you like? Yet, are you familiar with the clubs at IESE?
So yeah, so
The
I'm
clubs
actually planning to join in terms of clubs, I'm planning to join the consulting club, then the women in leadership club. And yeah, so these are the two clubs I'm actually targeting to, but then going forward, I'll explore and maybe apply accordingly.
Okay. So tell me, Anantita, you know that in Spain they speak Spanish. If you graduate from a Spanish MBA, you get a 1 year visa to stay there versus 2 years in the UK,
Yeah.
sometimes up to 3 years in the US. Why have you chosen to study in Spain? But the way you have to know that we have a lot of Indian students studying at ESADE, IE, IESE, etc. So why Spain specifically?
So, I mean, I have always wanted to settle a career in the in Europe, basically. So my company is headquartered in London. So whenever I want, I can go and sit in London. So that's one country I want to I want to explore countries. So I think Spain is one of the country I would want to explore. I mean, I would never get an opportunity to to go and live in Spain until and unless I'm very fluent in Spanish or my company is settled there. So I think that's one reason for choosing Spain over London or US. And speaking about between Europe and US culture, I feel that I mean I'm more comfortable in the European culture. I have worked with US clients, I've worked with European clients, but I'm more comfortable with the European culture. I know where I'm going into, so that's why.
Yeah, and at the same time, what you have to see, and on detail, is that Europeans are quite different. Okay, the Germans are very specific, the British. Okay, and basically you have what we call a Latin culture, so probably common somehow to people from the south of France, Italy, Spain, and Portugal, which is probably the culture that you have probably more like in Bangalore, and this type of more laid-back culture that you have. So people are more laid-back. At the same time, Spaniards are very serious at work. Huh? So you see that there are, especially the people you be in contact with, are very serious and very committed. Before I ask you about your career goals, can you briefly introduce yourself again, Anandita, like in 2 minutes, so that we understand more about you? Hello, Anandita?
Yes, October. Sorry, you were saying
Can
something.
you introduce yourself again for 1 minute so that we know
Oh,
more
sure,
about
sure.
you?
So, like, I am Anandita, and I am born and brought up in Kolkata, India. Well, I did my engineering. I'm a civil engineer by qualification, and after that, I did my MBA from IIT Roorkee, which is again in India, and that's also a general MBA that I did. But while I did my MBA, when I did my MBA, I just graduated as an engineer, so I had no significant professional experience. So after doing my MBA, I realized that I want to, finance is the sector that I'm mostly interested in. So when I got an opportunity at the campus to join Mazars as a financial consultant, I readily joined them. While working, and I have been associated with the firm for like almost 4 years now. I have developed excellent professional relationship with them. So it's like I have worked with mostly I worked with EMEA in the EMEA team, where I had dealt with European clients and the Middle East clients, and I've also experience in working with US and the Australian clients. So yeah, that's shortly about me.
Okay, that's basically you. Well, basically, that's something that we have to explain to the Indian students who are with us today, is that yes, you can have, except some universities in the US who refuse that you do 2 MBAs. Okay, I had the case this year. So basically, what is this MBA compared to the MBA that you're going to do at IESE? Is it a duplicate, or is it different, or how would you compare the two?
So when I say when I did my MBA, as I already mentioned, that I had no significant professional experience when I did my first MBA. So the topics were very interesting, but they were not relatable. I could not relate. So it was more kind of selecting what you want to do going forward. But it was not like that. I got the entire profession experience, but I understood the crux of professionalism after joining Mazars. So it was like more of a theoretical knowledge. It's like more of a master in management type of course. So now with this MBA, what I'm planning to, what I am looking forward to is basically, leveraging my experience that I had in finance, and then putting those experience in this MBA, and trying to understand the courses that I will be interested in. I'll be taking from a very realistic and a commercial point of view.
Okay, so that's something. So basically, to explain to you, so basically the MBA that she did is a sort of MIM. But since the MIM does not exist in India, they call it MBA. Okay, and in reality, it's an MIM. Now we have students who study at ISB, and they are like Anandita, they are between 26 and 30 years old, and they have work experience. But it's true that these MBAs also accept students with no work experience, fresh graduates. Okay. So tell me, Anandita, what are the post MBA, post IESE MBA career goals?
So
What do you want
first,
to do after the MBA?
yes, so I see myself working in a strategic and financial consulting firm such as McKinsey or Bain, as a project manager, or they say as an engagement manager, since I already have experience in the project management and financial management. So I as a short term, I want to join them as an engagement manager. And after that, I will be, while walking up the ladder, I want to also take up ESG projects, um, especially focusing towards gender equality and women upliftment.
Okay, so that's something that you have in mind. And what do you expect from IESE to help you? How can IESE help you, Anandita?
So first thing is IESE has a very good alumni network. So I think I'm looking forward for their highly intellectual I'm looking forward to their highly intellectual network. I'm looking forward to connect with as many people as many people as I can. And next thing is like IESE with IESE, obviously IESE with the ranking coming up this year, I think uh, that's a brand value that I'll be carrying with me. And so, getting into companies such as Bain, BCG, McKinsey will be a lot easier for me this way. And obviously, the management skills, the financial skills, the decision making skills that will be taught in the class, and mostly the case study method through which we can relate how things are going on very practically will be the takeaways that from ISC.
Okay, so that's what you expect. What is the most important thing that you want to learn at IESE in terms of is it hard skills, soft skills? So what are the most important hard skills and soft skills that you want to develop at IESE?
I think I would like to develop my negotiation skills. In terms of
Okay.
soft skills, I want to develop my negotiation skills and obviously the management skills. I am actually interested in taking various electives such as positive psychology for managers, and there are other very interesting electives. So I'm looking forward to that. That I understand those are light electives. They will not like that hardcore or very it will involve a lot of calculations and stuff just as finance, but a logic and then but it's a very light course, but it will develop your soft skills, so I'm looking forward to those. And in terms of hard skills, obviously I want to further hone my financial skills. I have a good expertise in project finance. I want to develop corporate finance experience, corporate financial skills. So that's what I want to do.
Okay. So that's something that you want to do, and you have already identified the class that you want to go for. And tell me, Anandita, you saw that IESE told us why she chose you. According to you, for which reason did they give you a scholarship, and did they accept you according from your own perspective?
That's a difficult question to answer, Dr. Hubert, but I'll try.
But you know, it's a question about self-awareness. So what would you say?
Yeah, so I would say because I mean I have good professional experience and have many excellent professional connections at Mazar. So everyone in the team knows me, and they have written excellent recommendations for me, I'm pretty sure. And so it's basically like the connection that I have already built. I think my with my previous company, because they got an assurity that uh, as a plan B, I have Mazars with me. I can any day go to Mazars and in a better position and a better role. So I think that's one thing. And the with the experience that I have narrated in my applications, and I have also mentioned to Ridhi, she got an understanding that I have the technical knowledge on which the further IESE courses will be taught, and if I'll be able to encapsulate those courses, those core skills, because she might have an idea that I have that expertise already present in me on which I can further build my skills.
Yeah, probably what they saw is that they say that Anandita has strong quantitative analytical skills, and after an MBA, it will be easy to find her position in an MBB. Probably that's what you find that you're easy to sell. Plus, you're a woman; they need more women, so they find it's an easy thing. Nacho, you have an interview tomorrow, so Anandita, we prepared the interview together as well. Do you have any question to ask to Anandita regarding the interview, Nacho?
Well, I've asked many questions to many people already, so I don't know if I have
But maybe
many more left.
The interview, the experience of the interview, no?
Sorry?
The experience that she had of the interview, or experience of the interview, no?
No, yeah. I mean, I've talked about the interview with ex people from IESE, from I mean, several people already today in this conversation, we've talked about the interview as well. But I'd say that most of it is covered. But I don't know if you have like one thing in particular that you believe worked very well for you during the interview, that you seemed that fitted well with IESE
I'll just
made
back.
you.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Anandita, yeah. So probably, so what I want to say is here in that show, so the way we prepared was very close to the way I prepared with you. Yeah. Anandita, so can you share your experience of the interview with Nacho? Since
Yes,
it was like
so, I mean,
2 months ago?
one thing that I would say is like just be very, treat the interview as an interaction, not like an interview. So just be very, just take it as if you were, you were talking to the next person, you were talking to an alumni. Do not think of that person as an, interviewer. I think that works well for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so
just
that's basically.
your application and just keep your application in mind and just go. I mean, they will have your application open, so just ensure that you have your resume and application, everything. You know your resume and application.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So Santiago, you're from Spain as well. You are a student. So do you have a question for Anandita? You, Santiago, yes, you're going to apply. You apply for the MIM or you apply for the MBA, Santiago? I forgot. Santiago? Hello? Santiago?
I'm more interested in from MIM.
Okay. So, but you have a question for Anandita because basically the MIM is a junior MBA. So do you have any
Yeah, I
questions
know.
for, that you want to
Everything
ask?
is clear. Thank you.
Everything is clear. Okay. So what else? So basically, Anita, it was very nice to talk to you. She has disappeared, but she will come back. So basically, what I want to say is that what did I want to say? So we understand very well when you choose the program. So when are you leaving? When are you moving to Europe, Anita? July, August? What are your plans now?
Yeah, maybe around August if everything works
Around
out.
August.
Okay,
Yeah.
around
So yeah, what I would suggest is that don't come too early, but not too late, and maybe take Spanish courses. Huh? So what I want to say is that if you should start, by the way, to take Spanish courses as soon as now, and maybe see if in July, August you can have Spanish courses to finish IESE with a C1 level. I think that you will make the admission process much easier. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, for being with us. Thank you, Anandita. Thank you, Nacho. Orden was with us. Santiago, who had the answer to many of his questions, and Maria, who managed Europe who managed Spain for us with great care and professionalism. And thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you all. Goodbye.
Bye bye, Nacho. Bye bye, Santiago. Bye bye, Maria. Bye bye, Anandita.
Bye.